This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. It's January the 3rd, 2015. Happy New Year's. We better get ready for Dr. King, Reverend Dr. King birthday, because they want to try to slice that down like it's not nothing. But anyway, the title of this video is called Critique of the series, How to Get Away with Murder. Critique of the series, How to Get Away with Murder. Okay, you know, I'm on the internet to a certain degree because I felt as though I had to go in there. And at first I tried to start my information and delivering information through mail and underground. I wanted to do the Underground Railroad, but I saw most people was on the internet, including black people. So, you know, I said, well, now I have to share, in order to get to them, I have to share the information, most of the information I have with anybody. So, you know, this medium is really evil in that you tell all your business, and that's what black people is on here doing, telling all their business, and then they're going to wonder why they're going to have a hard time because they telling all their business and all their strategies and everything is being laid out. So I'm trying to keep some stuff to myself, okay? But meanwhile, I knew I couldn't go underground and reach them because you're too Babylon-oriented as black people. You're so Babylon-oriented, and being into Babylon in the world is being away from Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ tries to meet you wherever ye are, and so he sends his messengers to try to reach thee wherever thou art, okay? So I was hesitant to use this medium. I have the basic internet service. I have no cable. I barely watch TV. It annoys me that I have to come on here to reach you, actually. I get no pleasure in it. I'm not looking for internet fame. I don't even have my picture up there. I don't even know how to use Facebook or Twitter, and not interested in learning. I'm really pretty ignorant to a lot of stuff of this internet, and I'm kind of glad I'm not getting entrenched into this cyber world, because it's just an extension of the media beast of the television that has whipped black people ass in this country with the highest weaponry they had for the last 84 years. Now that gets me to the point of the critique of how to get away with murder. They're now saying that this is how we're going to do it now. We're going to use black woman, who is the body of the supremacy clause in the Constitution, and that's how we're going to get away with murder. Because we're going to get away with all the murders we have done to black people by now putting black women on and letting them be the head imagers of how we get away with murder. We're going to let the writers and the producers be black women of the Constitution. So if the Constitution approves us getting away with murder, then it's no reason simultaneously at the same time, we have the Mike Browns dying, and we have the Mike Browns dying simultaneously, and the Eric Gardners dying simultaneously, and grand juries getting away and letting all of them get away with murder. All their murderers get away with murders. Each time they are completely getting away with murder. And it's amazing how, you know, at the same time they had this black woman on there who is a dark-skinned sister, a nice-looking, and a very well-trained actress, who is that you believe in her commanding of her ability to act, and she has that influence, and so now she's on there, and she is the image of the body of the supremacy clause of the Constitution, the image of the body of the supremacy clause, which black women are the body of the supremacy clause. And then you have somebody named Shondaland, who is the body of supremacy clause, have something to do with it too. And there's Shondaland, and both these things, in where these black women appear, they always have a white man or a succession of white men. Well, in How to Get Away with Murder, I see she had a little black boyfriend also. But the point that I'm making is they are using now the Constitution, who they have blocked for 84 years. And now they're doing a switcheroony and saying how to get away with murder. And as usual, black people are feeding into it without any critical thinking, that they're actually getting away with murder and murdering you off, and grand juries are setting them free based on the image of black women defending people getting away with murder. See, this is them entertaining you and using your own constitution against you. And I told you the only reason they letting black women having television power and image like this is because the war against the Constitution has an uptick now. They have to war against because the kingdom of David is coming in. And so they upping the ante. They upping the ante. They getting the Constitution now to war against itself. They getting the supremacy clause to have the war image against itself and to include everybody as they warn against itself. See, if anybody know anything, this lady is supposed to be a law professor in how to get away with murder. But she's teaching law under their system of incorporate doctrine, consent jurisdiction, which was abolished with slavery because it had to be abolished to abolish slavery. So what we have is a mob representation. So she's teaching law with a mob representation, using legal words and legal maneuvers and this and that and legal this and legal people that and this manipulation and that manipulation, and supposed to be the best intelligence in the world. But see, they can't get over the non-consent jurisdiction. So they're in their incorporate doctrine of an old pastime paradise of consent jurisdiction, and using a modern black woman of non-consent jurisdiction to image pushing law under consent jurisdiction that was abolished in 1865 when slavery was abolished. Consent jurisdiction had to be abolished because the Bill of Rights would have been the Bill of Rights consent jurisdiction to slavery. So we wouldn't have had a Bill of Rights if you didn't abolish the whole consent jurisdiction. You would have had a Bill of Rights consent jurisdiction of slavery. So she's teaching law in a pastime paradise and hoping some dippy, super dippy blacks will believe the beast and then say, I'm interested in law, and try to mimic her and imitate her. This is really a sad, sad thing. Shonda Rhimes is really sad. And the fact that such a unique actress was used in this, because this does not say anything wrong with her acting ability, but you know, it's pretty sad. And then the other one, and so they have the supremacy clause running around fixing everything for everybody, and still under a consent jurisdiction of incorporate doctrine. She can't fix it so that she declare that non-consent jurisdiction was established since 1865. When you're going to have a black-ass woman fix that non-consent jurisdiction was established since 1865, and that's the true law, non-consent jurisdiction. And so whatever she fixes as incorporate doctrines is nullified preemptively, okay? Which means it's just a sham. It's just a sham and shambles. See, what black people don't understand is they have no reality. They had to use Hollywood to create Bible stories. They had to use Hollywood to create their fantasy of this pastime paradise existing. The whole Hollywood is them because they don't have the reality. See, they need Hollywood, and they made you think that you needed Hollywood. They brainwashed you with fantasy, and you're the constitutional reality that is the reality of the cosmic. But all they have is fantasy, and they have beaten you into believing their propaganda. And so this is what is going on. Blacks are being beaten again, and as you watch How to Get Away with Murder, you're being murdered. I mean, these people are diabolical. This weapon has never been for you. The media has never been about you. How all of a sudden after 84 years they're going to start putting black women in unless it's to up the ante in their war. I mean, at 84 years later, I mean, they paraded white woman, and now all of a sudden, black women on there, oh honey, they mean to get away with murder on your ass. And then to use your image of the supremacy clause to say you consent them doing it. This is Mary Omni from the House of King David, just giving you something to think about. And you should be thinking about how to pull away from this internet and stuff like that, because the evil have went underground. You know, they took what we did to win the Civil War. They took our strategy and went underground, and we overground now and all in the air, spilling out everything. Lord, you know, help us, because we don't understand. I mean, it's really sickening how beast-tied up most of you blacks are. You need to get rid of your ass off of Facebook. You need to start letting some of this stuff go, as you're going to find yourself really messed up. This is Mary Omni from the House King David. Shalom.